The strategy that I'm about to show you is going to help you flip 1 Solana into 10 Solana in 30 seconds via Twitter. Now, take a look at this particular workflow. The tools that you're going to need are, number one, Snipe trading bot, which is basically a bot which is going to allow you to snipe tokens via Twitter as long as there's a contract address. However, this is extremely important due to the fact that you are going to be saving a lot of time instead of you going to Axiom Pro and just basically waiting for the coin to pop up on the pause. The reason why you're going to want to do this is so that you can front run the trenchers. Basically, the trenchers are going to be waiting anxiously on Axiom Pro, and they're going to be waiting for data to pop up here on the new pairs, the final stretch, and the migrated. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to beat them before they get to identify the coins that can do very well. So we are going to be sniping coins via Twitter. Okay, so the other thing that you obviously need is obviously a Twitter account, and you also need an Axiom Pro account as well. And the overall strategy is, if you have 1 Solana, which is roughly around 167 US dollars based on today's current prices. So the current price of Solana is 166. So basically 1 Solana is equivalent to 166. So with this strategy, you can basically be able to turn $166 into 1,660. The reason why this is very efficient is we are front running a lot of people, and we are using precision. Of course, in order for you to utilize this strategy, right, you have to back test it. Okay, you have to go in there, take a look at what is selling as far as the internet computer markets are concerned. So basically, internet computer market is a new narrative in the crypto sphere which is beginning to pop off. And as you can see right over here, if we go to the filters, right, Launchcoin is a platform which is pushing this narrative. And this is one of the reasons why the people who are going hard right now and just basically getting to understand how everything is laid out are the people who are going to be enjoying in the next 3 to 6 months. So in the next 3 to 6 months, if you want to make $1 million US, you have to identify how to play the game and how to beat everybody. Okay, so the reason why we are reverse engineering it is so that we can have an edge, an advantage. We can have a system structure. Structure is very important. So basically, the overall strategy, right, you're going to decipher your 1 Solana into several parts. You're going to flip or rather dissect your 1 Solana into 0.1 Solana. Okay, 0.1 Solana is what you're going to use to snipe via Twitter. So remember, in order for us to snipe via Twitter, right, we need this particular bot right over here, which I'm going to show you in a few seconds. Okay, so once you see something which is very good, something that can potentially do very well, right, you snipe 0.1 Solana via Sniperoo. You wait for it to pop up right over here, like these are popping up, right? And if you see that it is gaining momentum, if you see that, okay, the number of holders is picking up, the number of trading volume is really increasing, and if you also see how, you know, the price is graduating from the new pairs, the final stretch, all the way to the migrated, right, you can guesstimate and you know, sort of project how hard it's going to be able to run. And this is one of the reasons why once you snipe from Twitter, you wait for it to pick up momentum and for it to graduate and hit radium. And then once you see that, okay, it is migrating, right, and it has migrated, depending on the type of momentum which it is going to have, right, you are going to be able to buy the pullback or after that graduation. Once the pullback comes through, what you're going to do is now you're going to go heavy. Remember, at first you entered with 0.1, so now you've got about 0.9 approximately, right? And if all the boxes are ticked and you see that, okay, it has got good volume, good momentum, okay, this narrative is about to blow up, now you go heavy. So once you go heavy, right, now you are basically 1 Solana in, right, at this particular moment, because the trade has gone your way. All you got to do is wait for it to hit all these psychological targets, you know, 250,000 US dollars, 500,000 US dollars, even $1 million US. Okay, so this is the basic overall structure that we are going to be following. So I hope you guys are paying attention. Now, one thing that I need to explain to you is why is this particular method so effective and so why is it likely to work? The reason why it's likely to work is, number one, we are extremely early. A lot of people do not even know what internet computer is all about. A lot of people do not really know what Launchcoin is all about. A lot of people do not even know what Believe Up is all about. So a lot of people are trading on Pump Fund, which is absolutely dead at this particular moment because the new wave, the new narrative is starting to pick up. And the number one contender, which is obviously Launchcoin or Believe App, right? These guys are still trying to get things working right. So if you guys have been actively trenching, right, you're going to notice that these guys are having a lot of downtime because they are also trying to sort of contain the hype, the excitement, and there's a lot of quirks that need to be fixed. And this is one of the reasons why, as this is unfolding, right, we are actively strategizing and we are understanding how we can manipulate the game to benefit us. Okay, so point is, you are extremely early. Once you are extremely early, if you understand how things go and how things work and how you can manipulate and just basically take advantage of the whole situation before everybody understands the strategy, you are more than likely to make a whole lot of money. So I don't really want to go into what internet computer is all about. You guys are adults. You guys really want to make money. If you want to make a million US dollars, you have to have $1 million mentality. You know, it's not really easy to make that amount of money. So doing your research, everything that I talk about, please try to go in a little bit deeper and just try to do your research. So what you are going to do as far as our strategy is concerned, right? Remember, I told you, number one, you need to set up your sniper. So the link is going to be in the description box below. What I need you to do is you need to click the link in the description box below. That's my referral link, and it's going to help you out on reducing those fees. So once you set up sniper, the first thing that you need to do is you need to add your extension. So signing up is pretty easy and, you know, no brainer right over there. Just sign up, do what you have to do, and then make sure you add it as part of your extension. Once you add it on your browser, especially a Chromium based browser like this, it's going to pop up, meaning it's going to be embedded in your browser. So what's going to happen is, as you are trenching on Twitter, the biggest difference between trenching now and a few months ago is, for the most part, the biggest winners are going to be curated from Twitter. This is where you're going to get your edge, if I can put it that way, because of the internet computer market narrative. And the way Launchcoin Believe Up is set up, it's gating, it's obtaining the data from Twitter. Okay. Maybe in the future it's going to be obtaining data from YouTube, from Facebook, but right now the setup is Twitter, Believe Up, and then it gets on Axiom Pro. And this is one of the reasons why the people who are actively building right now, they are going to be working on filters that are going to be working on Twitter. So a lot of filters, a lot of meme coin filters that you guys are accustomed to work on a trading platform such as Axiom Pro. But right now, as I speak, I am in talks with a lot of developers who are creating filters that help us identify accounts that are going to be launching, accounts that have been preparing their audience to launch via Believe App. Okay, because it's all about the internet computer. So what we are going to experience is there's going to be a lot of profiles who are going to want to raise this money, and they're going to have like a system of getting to create awareness and just basically be able to let the people know that they are going to be launching their tokens. So far, the people who have launched via Believe App are obviously people who are very tech savvy, people who've got very good connection. Like, this information hasn't really blown up. So right now there isn't any distinct way to sort of filter out and just basically use an app, a tool to sort of figure out how you can identify those profiles. The only way that you can get to identify a profile about to launch via Launchcoin is searching via Twitter. Okay, now this is the part where you have to pay attention once more. So remember, number one, Sniperoo, you've got it on lock, you've set it up. Check my YouTube channel. There's a lot of Sniperoo trading setups that you need to do that. I assume you've already done that. Okay. Step number 2, go to Twitter. What are you going to do on Twitter? So Twitter is basically going to be your platform which is going to help you identify the potential profiles that are going to be launching via Launchcoin. Okay, so what you need to do in order for you to get this data is you need to search at Launchcoin. Once you search at Launchcoin, right, don't go on top. Okay, do you see this search result, right? So it's filtered out by top, latest, people, media, and lists. So what you need to do is you need to click on latest. The reason why you're going to want to do that is it's going to be giving you time it's going to be giving you data in real time with regards to all the launches. So as you can see right over here, right, since there's a contract address, however, be very careful. Do not go for the contract address listed by the person posting this post, because it's not coming from Launchcoin. So do not instantly buy. By the way, if you guys can see this blue tab right over here, right, the one that I'm hovering on, this is Sniperoo, and this is the goodness and the reason why you are using Sniperoo, because it helps you to snipe and buy. So for example, if I wanted to theoretically buy this particular project, right, I do not need to copy the contract address from Twitter and then take it over to Axiom Pro, then search for it right over here, because it's a lot of time wasting. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. Moreover, that is a wrong way, because what you're going to want to do is purchase the coin that has been tweeted by the Believe app. So the process is, if you want to launch via Launchcoin on Believe, right, if you want to have your platform launched, you need to get a reply. First of all, you tweet at Launchcoin plus your ticker symbol right over here, or the title, the name, and then what happens is Launchcoin replies to you. So let me just go back to my Twitter account. By the way, follow me on Twitter, because I'm going to be doing like a whole lot of good stuff on Twitter as soon as possible. So yeah, let me see if I got any. Did I get any reply from Launchcoin? So I experimented and I tried. Well, I did, as a matter of fact, I did launch a coin on Launchcoin just for education purposes. I wanted to figure out like basically how to get all that done. So once you tweet at Launchcoin plus your ticker symbol plus your profile picture, right, what happens is Launchcoin replies to you. I mean the actual this account right over here is the one that replies to your tweet, and if your tweet has been approved, then you get to launch on Launchcoin Believe app, and then it pops up right over here on several trading platforms such as Axiom, etc. So all these coins that are popping up here, they had to do the initial stage, or rather the initial step of getting to tweet, and then it gets approved, and then it comes through right over here. Okay, so once that happens, right, you guys who are searching actively on Twitter, for example, I think I deleted it. My apologies. I deleted it right over here, so it's not part of my feed. So anyway, let's go back to Launchcoin. Okay, Launchcoin, and we are basically in the latest feed right over here and seeing what's happening. So if it gets approved, which example can we give? So for example, here 16 seconds ago, this one wasn't approved, so it's not going to work. So what's going to happen is a few profiles are going to qualify, and the Launchcoin app is going to sort of verify that, okay, this is doing very well. So most of these have been rejected. So what you need to do is whenever you see a new app, right, a new potential launch, you just look at the Twitter profile. Look at the Twitter profile, take a look at their page as well. You can just simply open a new link and then just try to analyze whether they are going to be, number one, accepted, and whether it's going to be able to sort of pump. Is it going to be able to send? Is it going to do very well? So a lot of these Twitter profiles that are doing very well are specifically for builders. So people who happen to have a very good resume, people who've worked in Silicon Valley, people who happen to be developers. I'm seeing a lot of profiles from, San Francisco, a lot of Indians who've got like massive experience. These are the ones that are doing very well. So as you continue doing this, right, you're going to have an idea, you're going to have a hunch of the profiles that can do very well. Okay, and what's going to happen is in the next 3 weeks and moving on forward, right, we're going to have specific attributes of Twitter profiles that are going to do very well. It's going to be very known. So those are the ones that you're going to be sniping. Okay, once you snipe, so on Sniperoo, right over here, you're going to have like your default at 0.1. Then you're also going to have like another sort of entry, which is going to be about 0.9, so that you can easily be able to like get in using a click of a button in a very fast period of time. So once you figure out, okay, this particular Twitter profile can do very well, and I really believe it's gonna do tremendous type of stuff, you just sort of get in with 0.1. You sort of purchase 0.1, even without getting to do like a lot of analysis. In order for you to avoid analysis paralysis, sort of you just get to purchase 0.1 Solana, and you're in. The next stage is now going to be identifying the build up in momentum. So step one is you getting to identify the coins, the Twitter profiles, that can potentially pump. Okay, once you get to identify that, and it's going to be easy for you to do that, take a look at what has been performing very well, and take a look at the profiles that have already done very well and what people were sort of seeing at that particular moment, so that you can reverse engineer and recreate that potential success. So once you identify a good Twitter account, right, you go in with 0.1. 0.1 is going to be your first step while you wait for the build up in momentum. Okay, so once it gets approved and you see the build up in momentum as far as the Axiom pairs are concerned, right, you're going to monitor it on the new pairs. It goes to final stretch. If it is a very good Twitter account, believe you me, it's not even going to last long here. It's going to take about less than 2 minutes for it to end up from the new pair, final stretch, and migrated. So what's going to happen is there is going to be a lot of crazy volume and crazy momentum. So what you're going to look for is a retest right over here, like a drop, okay, wherever the price is going to go to, because this is going to vary. Sometimes it's going to end up, pumping towards 150,000 US dollars. Sometimes it can go to 500,000 US dollars. Sometimes it can even go to 70,000 US dollars. So it just depends. Okay. So what you're going to look for is the first initial retracement. Okay. But the best play that you can ever make with surety and risk-free is a retracement that goes to the graduation threshold, the graduation bonding curve threshold. So basically the bonding curve is the specific market cap that gets to graduate from pump fund, or in this particular case from Launchcoin, to sort of radium, okay, because the liquidity has been burnt and all that stuff. So in order for you to figure out what the bonding curve market cap level is, you just simply go to a site like Pump Fund, and you just basically take a look at the coins that are available, and it will show you the threshold where the bonding curve is going to be met. So for example, in this particular case, right, it's 68,833. So basically at 70,000 US dollars, that's the bonding curve. So what you want to do is look for a retracement as close to the bonding curve as possible. So on Axiom Pro, right, you are sort of basically going to be able to demarcate this level. Okay, once it pops up, you're going to draw a line, and you're going to be able to find an entry which is going to be close to that particular level. So I'm just using this to give you an example. So let's try to use a horizontal line. Do we have a horizontal line? So let's push it up all the way up to 70,000 US dollars. Yeah. So 70,000 US dollars like that. So in case the price had crazy momentum, what's going to happen is it's going to sort of really push up. Let me give you a different graph so that you can see it properly. What can we do? Okay, so for example, let's go to discover, and then let's take a look at for example this one. What do we have right over here? We flip the time frame and we use a horizontal line. Let's put it at 70,000 US dollars. Yep. So 70,000 US dollars represented by that yellow line. So for example, let's say this was the hypothetical coin that happened to do very well and you were tracking it from Twitter, right? You're going to have like a similar launch like this. Okay, so sometimes the price is going to come back to this level, which is the bonding curve. Most of the times, if it does have high momentum, remember you are targeting coins that have potential high momentum. So most of these coins are going to have a lot of volume and there's going to be a lot of interest, and most likely they are not really going to drop as high as possible. So what you need to do is you just basically go for the first retracement right over here. This was the first retracement, so buy the exhaustion of the selling power. So when it comes to identifying the exhaustion of the selling power, so for example, this could have been your entry right over here. You could have entered, and remember you started with 0.1 Solana, you're remaining with 0.9 Solana. So what you need to do is you dollar cost average that 0.9 Solana. So you are going to DCA until the price retraces. The reason why this is not going to end up ragging on you, number one, is you identified the right Twitter profile. Number two, it has got extreme volume and momentum, so there's a high likelihood that you are going to benefit and do very well. So imagine this was your entry. Imagine your dollar cost averaging right over here. It goes to 280k, you dollar cost average. It goes to 219, you dollar cost average. Even if it had to drop to 70,000 US dollars right over here, you are going to dollar cost average, because you know for a fact that it is going to end up pumping. So now take a look at this. How many minutes did you have? You had roughly from 8:05 all the way up to around 9. So you had basically more than 30 minutes in order for you to dollar cost average right over here. This was an amazing entrance right over here. So if you see the takeoff, that was like a 2.67 rise in percentage. And remember that when you were on Twitter, right, you sniped it before it even blew up. So you obviously sniped it before 70,000 US dollars. You probably go in like at 30,000 US dollars because you are sniping using Sniper. So you already have a position. That 0.1 has already, done like a 5x before you even enter using that 0.9. So you already have a lot of profit before you can even utilize the other money. The other money is just going to supplement your profits and you're just basically going to be risk-free. However, when you do this more than enough times, you're going to have clarity and you're also going to have confidence and you're going to know coins that are even going to blow up. So most of the times you guys are going to be going in with 1 Solana right from Twitter. Now imagine if you entered with 1 Solana at 30,000 and then it goes to around close to $1 million US dollars. That is achieving this particular 10 Solana flip each and every day. Okay, so on a daily basis, you can have such opportunities like 3 times. 3 times in a day, you're going to have very good profiles that are going to end up pumping. By the way, let me even take a look at this coin for curiosity's sake. Like, how come it did very well? So this was a Launchcoin platform. Was it a Launchcoin platform? So now let's take a look at this one, and let's take a look at the Twitter page. Launch on Gram. So why did this one end up doing very well? And how come it ended up pushing up? So yeah, this is just a generic it's just a generic page. I don't really think it's like a super profile type of stuff. It probably had like a community behind it and so on and so forth. So anyhow, what we are concentrating on is the internet internet capital markets. This is what we are concentrating on right over here, the internet capital markets, due to the fact that we are trying to find the coins via Twitter by looking at the profiles that could potentially do very well. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is there are other ways to sort of cheat the system. So to those of you who are privileged enough to have friends who work actively in Silicon Valley, right, you can tell them about this strategy. You can sort of help your friends who happen to be tech developers or people who've got very active Twitter accounts who can benefit from such type of material. So remember what I told you, right? Right now, a lot of people don't really know how they can get to maximize the whole process because, number one, Believe app claims they are going to be sending transaction fee, accumulated transaction fees to the creators of the token. But this hasn't been proven. I mean, maybe it's just that I'm not aware. So if you guys have launched successful coins on Launchcoin Believe app, please let me know how you got to sort of, benefit off of those transactions and how much you were able to make. So right now, this whole information is very new. We are still trying to understand it entirely. So there's a lot of things that we need to understand. And this is one of the reasons why it's very important for us to actively try to understand how the system works. Okay, so getting back to what I was saying, right? Those of you who've got friends in Silicon Valley, in India, especially New Delhi. I really believe New Delhi is like the Silicon Valley of India, if I'm not mistaken. So please let me know. Big shout out to all the Indians out there. Big shout out to all the tech hubs, in Africa, in Latin America. So you guys can actually get to, create tokens. Ask your friends. If you also happen to have a business, like a regular traditional business, let's say, for example, you happen to have like a roofing company and you've got like a very good, solid, online presence via Twitter, via your website, and people can actually track like what you've done. It's a very good platform to sort of, create your token because it is internet capital markets. Literally, we are getting to monetize your experience. So just like I've been telling you, right, meme coins are evolving. So it's no longer about JPEGs. It's no longer about pictures and funny JPEGs. Now it's all about real value, like getting to monetize your experience, your equity, your knowledge, your community, your circle. So there's a lot of opportunities that are going to be created. However, the biggest game changer is at least we have an edge, we have an advantage due to the fact that we can catch and snipe these coins via Twitter. Can you imagine casually scrolling through Twitter, you're able to make like 10 Solana because you happen to have stumbled across like a very good profile that can do very well. Now, that's very powerful. That's something that can literally change a lot of people's lives. And this is one of the reasons why I really believe this strategy is definitely something that can work. So remember, all you're doing is sourcing the information on Twitter, waiting for the volume and the momentum to build up, and you just basically snipe and just get out around these levels. So once you do this a couple of times, more than enough times, you're going to find 100x. Now, a lot of people casually talk about 100x. You see, 100x is going to be an outcome that you are going to stumble upon due to the fact that you frequent trenching. The more you trench, the higher likelihood that you're going to be able to like hit 100x. Okay, so 100x do not casually happen. They come with consistency. It's all about, it's like what they say about success. In order for you to be successful, right, there is an aspect of luck. Luck plays a key role, but in order for you to get to have the highest probability of being lucky, you need to put in the work, the effort. You need to sort of persevere. And this is one of the reasons why, if you guys persevere, you put in time and you just sort of perfect this strategy. Of course, you can tweak it and you can back test it and see what works for you. So this is basically the overall blueprint. This is the skeleton. It's up to you to sort of fine tune it and just basically make it work for your scenario, your ideal conditions, because we are different people. We've got different work schedules. We've got different capital allocations. So this is just something that can guide you and point you in the right direction. So if you guys understood and enjoyed the way that I broke it down, simply subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Telegram. If you want to join my free public Telegram group, the link is going to be in the description. Of course, join my Sniperoo affiliate link, join via my Sniperoo affiliate link, and also if you want to be trading on Axiom Pro, the link is going to be in the description box below.